Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see you. I hope that you're having a great weekend, and hopefully we're going to get all the energy together so you can have a fantastic week as well. We just got through the equinox. We're out of retrograde. This should be a good, energetic shift, I'm hoping, for all of us. Apollo, as always, he's blurred out here, but Apollo's behind me. Not sure why the camera's not working. I'll try to get that going in a second, but welcome everybody. If you enjoy what you see here, just a quick reminder to like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. If you haven't already done so, you can also sign up for a newsletter. It's free. It's on my website as well. All the links are at my website, nicholasashbaugh.com, but here's a direct link to the newsletter as well. All right, so for the collective, I always like to begin with some channel messages first and foremost. And as I'm starting to, as I was tuning into the signs this morning, one of the things that came through was the importance of creating and holding some space. Okay, by the way, there's Apollo. I just had the camera selected wrong. All right. Channel messages. It was kind of interesting the way that things showed up today. I saw an exchange of like a single coin, which is interesting because that's like an ace of pentacles. And in relationships, that has to do with being invested in someone, with showing interest, with caring, with seeing value. But I saw two people sitting down at a bench, and one person just kind of like asked an inciting question, and the other person talked for a long time and felt so much better. I could feel the relief of that person. I don't remember what the conversation was about because that wasn't the point. There's something beautiful about being seen and heard. And it is an exchange of energy and time to be a listener. We forget that listening takes time and takes energy. But there's I got a lot of love from that other person from just being heard. So a key to success in relationships sometimes is that you don't have to fix or advise or do anything of that nature. Sometimes a person just needs you to be there and listen. That also holds true for you. The listening piece now we can take outside of relationships and look at all aspects of your life. In a recent reading, I was looking at the Two of Swords and remembering that sometimes there's this feeling of not being appreciated or seen. If you're feeling this at work or school or in other aspects, wherever you might be putting your time and energy, it's important to make sure that that's articulated. And you can ask someone, how is this? What do you think of this? Is there anything that I need to change in respect to this? And by the way, I appreciate some feedback from time to time. It helps me know when I'm doing well or not so well. If you could insert that from time to time, it helps me. And that's a way of just letting people know it's kind of like boundaries and expectations. It's not like you're begging, you're just trying to get clarification. So if you need to have a listening ear, ask. And also if you're always the one listening, feel free to reach out to someone and say, hey, could I just have a few moments of your time? And if they push you off, just say, by the way, I'm always there when you need it. This is a time when I really need it. So I feel like it's either cashing in on that good energy that you put out there or allowing someone to, unload on you a little bit. So from time to time, we need to even out the scales there a little bit when it comes to listening, being seen, being heard. And that was the primary message that I got, was that visibility and that appreciation and that validation. And so if you can offer it to others, that would help. If you need it, ask for it. You can do it in a way that doesn't sound needy. It's more sort of like, I really need to know where I stand on this, or with us. Where are we? That's what I picked up on from the guides. I hope it helps. All right, so let's go ahead now and take a look at a 7-day forecast. We're not going to meditate. I almost pushed that. 7-day forecast where we can get a little bit more information on the next week ahead. Let's see which cards I want to use for this. Okay, I got it. All right, so take a moment, if you haven't already, and close your eyes. Allow yourself to just be present, to tune in, and we're going to welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. One thing that I like to do from time to time is just imagine that the sun is shining and creating this beautiful circle of light around me. Okay. How's everybody doing today? Let me know in the comments as I'm getting started here. Hopefully better now that we're all together. All right, so we're going to start off with the energy of today. We have Five of Pentacles, and that kind of nicely aligns with what I was talking about, because with the Five of Pentacles, sometimes there's a feeling of being on the outside, not knowing where you stand with somebody. In addition to all of this, I would say that it's important to realize that you're worth it. Like, working on your own self-worth is always a piece of this card. So because of a setback, because of a lack of validation, because life is challenging, sometimes we just wonder, am I worth it? Can I do it? Etc. And this card is encouraging you to believe in yourself. Everything starts with believing in you. If there's anything going on with respect to your health, the Five of Pentacles is usually connected to, in addition to the emotional stuff, because sometimes there's just the feeling of being hurt emotionally. It can be your feet, ankles, legs. Normally there's a person with crutches on this card. And as I've started to read over years and years, I realized that we can also, it can be even codependencies. So there can be people in our lives that lean on us as a crutch, or vice versa. So it's interesting that I saw the coin being exchanged. It feels like there needs to be reciprocity, and make sure that that's happening and you're not feeling depleted, or you're not hanging on to something longer than you need to. Finally, when it comes to money, finances, and schedule, this is about not overextending yourself, okay? All right, that kind of looks like a Hobbit home, doesn't it? I'm just looking at that for the Lord of the Rings fans out there. All right, let's move on to Monday. So we have the Empress energy coming through, power, accountability, leadership. Love the lovely Taurus energy coming through at the front as well. So if you need to take control of something, if you need to negotiate, if you want to make an impact, conversations will be benefited by this energy. So Monday is a great day to take the bull by the horns, and if there's anything that you need to manage, manage it, okay? Also, it's interesting that she's kind of, she's posing, but she's almost looking to the side or looking over her shoulder. Make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on around you. Make sure that you're focusing on the now and the next, not so much could have, would have, should have, which we just talked about, I think, in a recent daily. The other thing here is she's ready. She's ready for her moment. She's ready for the spotlight. So if you do have an important presentation, meeting, date, or gathering, look good, feel good. When you look good, it's really for yourself. Do whatever you need to do to look your best, expressing yourself authentically, because then you're going to exude power, energy, and you're going to be able to make the splash that you want to. But overall, very, very good energy. It's a great way to kick off the week, great way to kick off a new season, so amen to that. All right, Tuesday, a little bit of a pivot. So the Fool in reverse. Either you might be feeling resistant to change, or you may need to take a side step or step back, fix something, address something, and then you can move forward. The Fool, it's not a race. He's not running, he's walking. So sometimes he needs to just fix things in real time, and when the card is reversed, it's usually that. Or it's Spirit nudging you out of the nest and saying, you can fly, you can do this. So take it a step at a time, take a deep breath. If you fumble the first time, lift yourself up. It's like a little kid learning to walk. It's like someone riding a bike. There's going to be a few scrapes and scratches, but you don't give up. And this Fool isn't going to give up. At least that's the way the guides are presenting it to me. Let go of the baggage. I always like to highlight that the Fool has just that little satchel, not a lot in it. So I think I said on the daily, every day is a reset for this last one that I just did for this morning. So the Fool is the ultimate in respect to resets, because the number associated with the Fool is a 0. For anybody that's ever formatted a hard drive, there's an option to zero the drive. It writes a bunch of zeros so nothing exists on it, like all the old data is gone. There's like we can think of it in technical terms like that. We're just clearing the slate. So when you wake up each morning, just see today as potential. Not like, oh my God, I got to go to work tomorrow, or oh my gosh, I have to do this. Instead, if we just see it as potential, this could be a great day. Who knows what today is going to have in store? I can't wait for something great to happen. Maybe it's today. Like, those are better thoughts to initiate the day with than, oh my God, it's Monday. I mean, we've all felt it from time to time, but there's that. The only thing missing from this card I'm noticing is the dog. So the dog is interesting because it's about loyalty. It's about also someone checking in on you to make sure that you're not going too fast. We love Mr. Apollo in the background. And so you may need that friendship that I was talking about, that connection that I was talking about earlier. And if you need it, reach out. We all do from time to time. Okay, middle of the week, moving on to Wednesday. Here we have the Eight of Swords. The interesting thing, if you look at any good Eight of Swords, he's actually not trapped. The swords are around him, sometimes behind him. He is blindfolded, but interestingly enough, his hands aren't actually even tied together. He has some ropes, but we can just imagine that this is something you can break free of. I like to call this the prisoner of thought, because your thoughts can eclipse and obscure, just like when I pushed the button earlier and it was all blurry. Sometimes our thoughts blur the way, right? And so if we can just get out of that and take off whatever our lens is to the world and just say, I need to see it from a new perspective, that can help. This is a great day to talk to someone else, an advisor, a mentor, or a friend, or a counselor, all of the above. If you can't see it, then you won't do it. This is true of new ideas, new projects, and anything where you want to break through. So the most powerful thing that you can do is imagine. Imagine something new, different, and positive. And it's also an act of rebellion in the current world where there's so much negativity. If you can imagine that something positive can happen and you can push it into existence, that's an act of rebellion and freedom and free will. That's why books like 1984 want to clamp down on thoughts, literacy, information, facts, and what's going on right now, all of that. So we have to find our inner rebel and rebel against that energy that wants us to be blindfolded and shackled. Practically and tactically on Wednesday, you may have a harder time communicating. You may have a harder time getting past your mental blocks. You may have a little bit more difficulty in moving. So getting out of the old, like put something down. If you're not making progress and there's no pressing reason, no deadline, due date, etc., put it down and focus on something where the energy is open. Take a break, change your work location if you can. Step outside, get some fresh air, talk to someone new, change up your routine, drive home a different way, try a different food for breakfast. Anything you can do, and I can't list every example, but anything that you can do to change the routine, that will help you see the world from a different perspective. Reading, watching TV, listening to a podcast, anything that can expand your horizons. Okay, things improve by the time we get to Thursday. Here we have the Six of Cups. This is a better day for relationship energy. It's a better day for love in particular, but it's the inner child coming out to play. It feels like this is a really good day for gatherings. So if you wanted to have a date, have an important conversation, hang out with some people. If you have a difficult thing that you need to discuss, this is also good because people are more receptive. Make a little time in your schedule to spend with people that you love, neighbors, friends, family, whoever it is that brings you that sense of calm. And if there is an existing relationship that you want to further develop, this is a great day to do just that. So there you go. We're looking very good at this point of the week. All right, by the end of the week, we have the Strength card coming in. A lot of divine feminine energy coming forth. So Strength. You have the capacity to manage what's coming through in your life. So I'm looking at, it almost looks like a volcano, but it's not. It's like a gigantic crystal in the background. But Strength. Typically, she is taking her hands and opening the mouth of the lion. Here it looks like the lion is tamed because he's allowing her to sort of like use him like a horse and ride around and everything. So what I don't love about the Strength card is there is an energy of dominance in it. And in good versions of the Strength card, we see kind of like the equilibrium. But that being said, sometimes we do need to fight back. Sometimes we need to know that we can win. And sometimes we do need to exert our power. And that is what Strength is about. So if there's something in your life that you really, really, really want to make sure that you can hit out of the park, and if you have a difficult conversation but you really want to win, this is one of the cards that typically guarantees success. It is a bit of a struggle. It usually isn't sustainable. This is sort of like a one and done thing. And so my general thought around strength is make the change that you need to, win the battle that you need to, and then move on to something else. You don't want to continue having to fight for recognition, for attention, for validation from a person, place, or environment that doesn't give it to you, okay? Because you're strong. I mean, ultimately, that's what this is. There also could be a Leo marching into your life this day as well. But look at these bookends for the week. We have the Empress at Monday, and then we have the Strength card on Friday. Either way, you cut it. Looks like you can get a lot done this week. And there are themes of reclamation of power. And that actually is another theme of this. Taking your power back. I was talking to a friend recently about having a difficult conversation. And you have to ask yourself going into it, do I want to resolve this peacefully? Do I need to just get something off my chest and maybe burn the bridge if I need to and clear the karma? If that's okay, then you stand up, then you fight a little bit. It really, ask yourself what you're trying to do. But this is a more embattled card. So if you do need to fight something like a court case, a legal battle, or get someone to stop doing something, that is a card where there's a little bit more confrontation, but usually it's done and dusted. Okay, focusing on the weekend. Next, or this upcoming Saturday, we have the Page of Cups. It's interesting that this reads more like the Three of Cups because there's three people here. Three's a crowd. So with the Page of Cups, you may be deciding to step back and limit how many people you're interacting with and make it more one-on-one, or just focus on yourself, because that is another thing that I'm noticing here. They're like, give us a drink too. Also, you just might have a lot of people vying for your attention. So with the Page of Cups reversed, it's saying don't give mixed signals, because you have to wonder if he's giving mixed signals to his various lovers and friends there in front of him. So if you're interested, say you're interested. If you don't. RSVP with a decisive yes, no, not a maybe. This isn't a day for maybes. Be clear, because otherwise you're inviting in people that will test your boundaries. That's not always fun. So let's not do any boundary testing if possible, and and just express yourself. The Page of Cups in reverse also needs to let go of some things. It could be emotional baggage. It could be fatigue. I do feel like some of you may just want to pull back from the larger group. So that's a great day to take care of yourself, okay? Ask for what it is that you need. Don't always focus on pleasing others. There's plenty of days and times for that, but this isn't the one. Okay. We have a nice card a week from today, the Nine of Wands. It's in the reverse position. This is a very... she's going through a moment there. The traditional Nine of Wands is a little bit different. I want to hold that one up too. So I think of it as the Energizer Bunny, the card that won't quit, the reminder that you're tenacious, that you're perseverant, that you're a survivor. I Will Survive is the song of this card. So here's the traditional one. He also, none of them look happy in the Nine of Wands, but they're so close to the finish line. He's just like, are we done yet? When is this over? And she is in the middle of fighting. So that really is the stance of the Seven of Wands. So with this interpretation, I would say, because I think it was reversed, you don't need to fight so hard, and you don't owe everyone an explanation. One thing that's great that happens with wisdom and age is you stop caring so much about approval, and you just know that you can do it. You step into a situation with a feeling of power, or sometimes even like confident indifference, like take me or leave me. And that's going to help you in this moment in time. Now, the reason I dug around a little bit for the original card, that bandage around his head, that can represent stress, migraines, thoughts ricocheting or pinballing around your brain too long and too much. One way that you can get that out is through exercise, art, talking to someone, sleeping. You need to take care of yourself. Find a way to kind of let go of some of that energy and not put so much effort into it. You're closer than you think to the finish line. Absolutely finish what you've started, but take a step back in the process, gather yourself, ground yourself, and know that it's going to be okay. All right, let's take a look at highlights and challenges. We'll start with the highlights. I mentioned already, the beginning and the end of the week are great. So Monday, you're going to have a fantastic day. Friday, fantastic day. But I also really, really love the people energy, the fun energy, the inner child energy connected with Thursday. I think the biggest challenges for you this week is probably today and maybe the middle of the week here. The Five of Pentacles is more just like self-care and self-confidence. The middle of the week is opening your heart, opening your mind to just a little bit more. And I know that's easier said than done sometimes, okay? All right, we're going to pivot here into the elements. Again, just a reminder, if you just joined, please subscribe. That will allow you to chat and hang out. And if you would like to give back, we have a goal today of 30 supers. Any amount is good. And then you can then vote on what you want me to do. So the poll is up and the target is up. Let's try to meet it. I'm going to do the fully expanded forecast this week because there were some complaints last week. I'll just pick up the pace, and I've been practicing that a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and I forgot to announce what I'm doing. We're going to look at the elements, and the elements basically are going to allow us to take a quick pulse check on all the signs. By the way, all the sign readings are on the main channel page, so if you need to look at it for this month, great. Next months are going to be briefer and a different organization because change is good. Okay. So I'm going to leave these here just in case we need to reference them. And I'm going to select a different deck for this. Hold on. Fire. Okay, there's another one for fire. Earth, air, water. All right, let's begin. We'll start off with the fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You got two, and they're both cyclical, and they're both reversed. The presenting one, I believe, was the Wheel of Fortune, or the wheel in this deck. So with the wheel in reverse, there could be financial challenges. There could be a recalibration of how you're spending your time, energy, and money. There could be, also for some of you, a need to sort of explore new things when it comes to this is what my purpose is, this is what I'm focusing on. With the wheel in reverse, sometimes there's resistance to making the necessary change in your life too. So don't resist change is the first thing that I get with this. Do, however, take a look at money, schedule, resources, and reciprocity and ask yourself, am I getting what I need with this, right? Okay. This is one of my favorite judgment cards. So we have the Great Bear. This is judgment. We have Ursa Major or whatever in the background, the Big Dipper. And the bear looks really scary, but I feel like that's spirit coming through and saying, are you ready? Are you truly ready? It's a final test. So there might be one little test this week where you think to yourself, really? And it's just spirit giving you one last chance to check out of a lane if you don't want it. But if you're ready, things are about to get exciting. Judgment is a second chance card, rising up from the ashes of disappointment, failure, setback, disillusionment, and rising to the call. And there's a portal that you're stepping through. There's this beautiful aurora borealis behind the bear as well. So things are about to get very interesting, very different, and it is about not rinsing and repeating, trying something new. So with the card in reverse, there is an inner decision, but your mind is fighting your heart. You know you need to do it, but you're thinking it too much. I really want you to lean into your instincts this week in particular and make sure that everything is okay. All right? Don't judge your shelf. I sound like Cher now. Don't judge your shelf. Don't judge yourself too harshly. That's a lot of words. And try not to judge others harshly. Because judgment can literally just be your opinions. And so it's no one's business unless they ask what your opinion is. And likewise, what other people might have to offer. If it's not welcome, just say, I didn't ask, but thanks. But honestly, I'll ask if I'm interested in the opinion. Okay, moving onward from fire to earth. We have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The King of Wands. We have the adder snakes here, kind of like a snake den, and that king snake at the top. So we're avoiding unnecessary embroilments of power because we had a couple this week between Strength and the Empress. So there may be a couple of really strong individuals in your life, and you pick and choose. I was recently having dinner with someone, and things got a little heated on a certain topic, and I'm like, let's change the topic. I'm enjoying this meal. We don't need to go there. So sometimes we can just shift gears because you choose not to have conflict. I choose peace in this moment. So there may be places where you can divert the energy and say, we're not making any progress here. I hear what you're saying. We don't agree. That's okay. So if you need to fight, fight, but it's not always worth it because it can be a little bit of a snake pit, as we see with this. Okay, snakes are fantastic as a totem. They're also good for our ecosystem, but what they represent is change. Also, there's a common theme here across all the cards. Judgment, this, we have death in the next card. So change, you're shedding your skin. In order to go to the next thing in your life, relationship, love, work, personal development, whatever, something needs to shift. A way that you used to work, it can't be so rigid. And you may be separating from the status quo and the team here, as we see, and stepping up. Or like it's kind of like a Six of Wands moment where you're leading the charge. Focus more on the change, less on the conflict. Lean into your inspiration, your imagination, and your ingenuity because that's going to bring you to the next level, okay? And yeah, like I saw someone saying they have a really, really bossy person that they have to work for. Pick and choose. And then, like, we can't always, sometimes it's just an arbitrary person in our life that we can't get away from, like a family member or a coworker or boss, but we can choose not to give them our thoughts and our feelings. You can just think to yourself, gosh, this must be all you have. if you got to be the big person at work or school or campus or whatever, and that's it, then so be it. I'm not going to let that take away my life force because you do you, I'll do me. Ultimately, though, great leadership card, great imagining card, great ability to stand your ground, okay? Moving on to the air signs, changes. We have the Journey, the Death card in the reverse position. It's pretty pretty literal as he's picking clean this the skeleton here. So there's one final step. It's reversed, and we see him cleaning something up. So in this moment in time, there's one step before you're fully ready to embark on a new version of yourself. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you're holding on just a little bit to the past, or you're dragging your feet a little bit on doing something to turn the keys so that the ignition sparks and you're headed in a new direction. Don't resist the change. It's very, very important and necessary this week. I'll pull the traditional card here too, because the other thing with death is that it reminds us that change and growth and rebirth happens at every stage of life. The death card doesn't discriminate. If you've ever looked at it, we have a king on the ground. We have a little kid here, his mother, and then a papal figure as well. So doesn't matter how privileged or underprivileged, how rich or poor, how known or unknown, every step of life is affected by this. Nobody can, death and taxes, right? For the most part, we're all subject to them. So with the death card, that also can be interpreted not just as a literal death, but a figurative death and rebirth. So you're not stuck unless you say you're stuck. It's not over until it's over. And if you're ready to start something new, this is the week to do it. So wrap up old stuff, start something new. It's very aligned with sliding doors. Well chosen, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, because we're going to be focusing on something that's going to help you this week too. But everybody can gain from this because just to kind of show you, this is an ending card. This is an ending card. That is a cyclical card. So we have multiple cards here that came through in this little mini pull that I did. All right, so that was air. Now we're going to look at water. Oh, one last thing with air. There may just be someone or something also that you need to let go of, and it's okay to say goodbye. That is making room for something new. I wanted to leave you with that. Okay, now looking at water. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have a nice water oriented card coming through for you. 9 of Cups, generosity, celebration, wish fulfillment, and sometimes extremes. We like the extreme joy in this card, but it can be like punctuated highs and lows. So it's important not to let those go to your head. If it's an amazing day, we don't want to let like all of our energy think it's always going to be that high. If it's the worst day, let's not put energy into thinking it's always going to be there. Most of our life we spend going up or down from those points, and we have to enjoy the journey, all the points in between. So that's one message here. Wish fulfillment. You have to believe that you can do it. And I really want you to focus on manifestation, because it looks like of all the signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, you have a good chance of manifesting this week. This can be like a party. So we love that. And the only thing that you want to try to connect with is some like balance in your life, because this card lacks it. It's usually lacking moderation. I love that he's meditating. That's a great way to meditate and to rise above the high or low. Okay. Generosity is a great way to, if you have more than enough, give back a little bit. That also creates more balance in your life too. But of all the elements, water seems to be the easiest this week. So have some fun with that. Except the emotions. Again, sometimes emotions can run high. All right. So we are now going to get into the special topic for today, sliding doors. And I like that kind of image because they close, they open, they close, they open. Or if you think of one of the revolving doors, it's just cyclical. And when we stop worrying so much about trying to figure out when is it going to open, when is it going to close, etc., we can enjoy the ride just a little bit. So I'll let you see. Apollo's turned his back to us. What's going on, buddy? I'm just putting some lotion on my hands and picking another deck. Hey, buddy. What's going on? You're hiding from all of us. All right. He's contemplating. That's what he's doing. And enjoying the view out the window. For any of you that have cats, I'm sure they do that too from time to time. Just a little bit of Apollo time as I was getting ready here. Okay, so let's take a moment here and focus on what it is that you need to either start or stop. Send that up to source and really set the intention that you're ready. And now I'm going to read and see what's coming through for the starts and stops in this week ahead. He has a personality, as you can tell. Yes, he's my guard. You guys are funny. For those of you that have pets, they're just little people. That's how I see them. Ooh, this is good. Apollo's a Taurus, from adoption date anyway. I don't know when exactly he was born because he was a rescue, but I got him in Taurus season. So he has his own personality. Yeah, Apollo knows if I'm on like a heated conversation on the phone or if I'm stressing out. He's a very sensitive dog. All right, let's get started here. You probably heard me say, "Ooh, that's good." I like spiders, not in my life. I don't want them in my apartment. I don't know how Australians deal with those really big ones, the huntsman spiders or whatever, that are the size of just too big for me. But as a totem, I love a spider. In the garden, I love a spider. The reason is they are symbols of manifestation. So the spider creates a web because it knows it's going to catch its meal. It knows how to do it, and it knows it's going to happen, and it happens. And it also is very strategic about where it places it, so that I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this nearly invisible net in the sky, and I know that things are going to fly here. and I'm going to do it every day, and it's going to work. So it, on a daily basis, manifests its meals, and it cleans up its messes, and it's strategic about where it places it. That's why as a totem, it's amazing. It represents oftentimes 10 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, and I would even say on some levels the High Priestess, because it's manifesting. So all of the things that I mentioned, every day is a reset. It cleans up the web. Every day it's strategic. It changes the location if it needs to. And every day it believes. And as a result, the spider's pretty good at doing what it does. It also pays attention to vibrations. Like that's what it feels on the web when something gets caught, and then it goes over there, gets its meal. So tuning in like we saw on that 9 of Cups a moment ago, so that you can feel the vibration of you, things around you, things that you're calling in. Super important, super spider-like, and also spidey senses, trusting your instincts. That's why I say it's High Priestess energy too. Okay, good beginning for this. So with the ends and beginnings, it's just saying every day, lean in to the spider energy. Keep setting out that net of what it is that you want, and don't give up, but adjust it if you need to. You don't want to put the same net out every day. It could be in a slightly different location. And if something isn't working, or if you need to let go of something, clean that up. All right. Definitely have a repeat here with the 9 of Swords with stress management. Also listening to your instincts, cutting out some people that you don't need, getting past the 8 of Swords. So we have repeat cards, but we have a really positive outcome. We have a really good totem that came through, and we have the Magician here too. So we're good, but there's a little bit to overcome, and I'll help you with it. All right, 2 of Cups in the reverse position. So interesting. Again, I was just talking to another friend who's learning to read about this card reversed. Sometimes it can be codependencies. It can also be discernment. So if there's a person in your life that tries to get you to do something that you don't want to do, or is constantly taking, but you're never receiving, you can say no, and you need to find the balance, because when it's upright, it's perfect, sort of like synchronicity, it's perfect balance, and harmony is the word I was looking for. We do have a Leo symbol coming through, and we did have the Strength card. There may be a Leo in your life that's a lot, or you're a Leo that needs more support. Balance that out as needed. If you're picky in who and what you're looking for in love and friends, it might take a little bit longer, and that's okay, because you're not just taking the first thing, sampling the first thing on the buffet of life, right? You're saying, I'm waiting for something that's perfect, or a good fit, let's put it that way. So be patient with yourself, be patient with others. You're allowed to say no. There needs to be reciprocity and push back on any codependencies. That's the TLDR of that whole thing. We have a very optimal card right on top of this. So the 4 of Wands represents friendships, love, and relationships foundationally that can sort of stand the test of time. That's why the 2 of Cups is reversed. You're waiting for someone on the same page, someone that wants marriage, or wants a family, or wants monogamy, or has the best friend forever energy, plus maybe you're in love with them, or whatever it is that you're looking for. The foundation needs to be there. Now, if we take it out of love, because this can just be something that you're passionate about, and you're building something amazing, you're being very picky about, like in a company, who you're hiring. It has to be the right employee. So we're just looking at people aligning to passion, and the passion can be a person or it can be a goal. But because of that, you're going to take a little bit more time, and that might be a little bit frustrating, but it's going to be okay. Relationships also are literally at the center of the spread. So some of them are starting, some of them are stopping. So you might be ending or starting a major relationship. You're doing it because of this. This is your crossing card. So can I depend on this person? Are they consistently there for me? Do I feel like they have my back, and vice versa? If so, you're good. If not, it's time to recalibrate. All right. In the deep past, we have Knight of Pentacles. I feel like some of you have recently started to invest in yourself a little bit more, or have decided that you want to invest in yourself a little bit more. Maybe deciding to learn something new, go back to school, or simply carve out more time for yourself so that you can focus on whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So this is you taking that coin and saying, I need this, I want this, or I'm choosing to put this here rather than there. There may also have been someone in your life that was taking more than they needed to. One of the things that needs to end now is that sort of one-sided transactional kind of relationship. And I know that I've even now I have friends and connections that will just cut you off or talk over you. And it's like, we need even conversational flow. It can't just be one person holding the center stage all the time. So you're trying to remedy that and get what you need in your life. Try not to overdo it. This can represent overwork, overspending, overeating, over anything. So we really want to focus on establishing balance. Sometimes we need help with that. And if you need help, ask. But that's the one caveat there. I'm loving that the Magician is by this, because I mentioned High Priestess, but the Magician and High Priestess very similar energies. So the Magician is helping you with this spider-like energy. Believing is seeing. Her eyes are closed. She's focusing on the third eye. She's focusing on the act of creation. For the writers, the artists, the musicians, the people out there that have ever, the inventors, the engineers, if you've ever worked on something that isn't done, but you know it's going to be amazing, you know that there's a very important gestation process where you're not going to share it with someone else because it's rough, it's messy. You know it's not going to be messy forever, but you know that if you give it to an unimaginative person, oftentimes a boss or project manager or whatever, they're going to just focus on the messiness, not the potential. So keep something to yourself in the germination, gestation, birthing process until it's ready. Not everyone has imagination. Some people are literal and they're not artistic and they can't see past that. Protect your thoughts in those situations. Outside of work, outside of school, there can also be things where you're deciding to change your life. You're going to pivot, different career path, different love path, whatever it is. There can be unimaginative people in your life also that try to hold you back. When I pivoted before and got out of like a more traditional 9-to-5 job to do what I'm doing, tons of people said it was crazy. So I just didn't care and I felt like it was okay. So there's moments where I feel like I got this. I can see how I can make it work. So if you can see how you can make something work, then lean into it, okay? You've got to be the creator. You can't let other people get in and distort, distract, or destroy your sort of imagination, okay? Because it can be any and all of the above. We don't see any of the tools here for the most part except the pentacle. I'm not seeing wands. I'm not seeing swords. I'm not seeing cups. I guess that little tiny thing could be a cup. But, oh, it's right there. It's hidden. They're all very subtle. Oh, okay, I see what the artist is doing. So here's your sword. Here's your cup. Here's your pentacle. I don't know where the wand is. This is like, it's like a game looking at all of these things. But anyway, things may be more subtle. Intuition works that way. It takes a little time to see things. First pass, you're like, it's not there. And they're like, oh, it is there. Okay. So don't let your own thoughts block. That's actually what's happening. We'll do a little jump ahead. I know I saw it here. I thought I saw the 8 of Swords. No. Oh, it was the 9, not the 8. Oh, it's up here. There it is. It's the very next card. So let's just jump to it. So if you think to yourself, I can't do it, it won't happen, I'm not blank enough, you just close the door. Instead of opening the door, you closed the door. So let's open the door and say, what if I'm perfect for this? Why can't I do this? When will I do this? I'm going to do this. Talk to yourself like that. You'll sound, a little odd, but it's going to get you through it. That's how I work myself through things. What if it's better tomorrow? What if I feel better? What if I have a different approach? What if there's a breakthrough? What if is one of the most powerful combinations. Your 2 words that will help you unlock the prison of thoughts. Why not? What if? How can? How can I? When will I? Just make it a question. The doubt becomes a question. And if you don't have a good answer for why can't you do it, or if it's just like I might fail or someone might not like it, that's not enough. That's not good enough. What if they do like it? So you have to always push yourself out of that stuff. Now, different perspective. You may not understand something. 8 of Swords and 7 of Cups are like, I'm not getting it. Knocking on the head, but nothing's there. So it could be that someone is using the wrong way to communicate. It could be that they're purposely obfuscating or confusing people around them so that they can get away with something. Maybe they don't know. Whatever's going on, ask a question. 2 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 7 of Cups. It's clear as mud. So in this situation, don't proceed until you get the information you need. Get curious, look at the fine print, get a lawyer or someone that's an expert to help you understand it, and don't beat yourself up for not being able to make sense of it. Also, there are certain things that are just difficult. Like, I'm never going to look at a calculus equation or whatever and understand it completely. However, I understand physics better than I did when I took it in school because I love astronomy, not just astrology, but astronomy. And things that didn't make sense then do now. Even like the periodic table of the elements, like if they would have told me everything in the elemental table is from a star, I would have been so much more interested. Like, it all began with stars that were made of hydrogen or helium. And as they supernovaed, as they exploded, all the other elements were made. You would have hooked me in at that. Instead, they had numbers, atomic numbers, this many protons, this. Who cares? Let's start with the fun fact that I'm looking at a star chart here. Now you've hooked me in. Teachers sometimes don't think of it from that perspective, but as an adult, I'm far more interested in, well, why does the time change if the gravity is bigger, like around a black hole? Help me understand the physics of that. So if they would have taken really cool things like that, rather than just rote learning, memorize the table, what number is this, what element is this, which one are the noble elements, who cares? If you're not going to be a scientist, let's just get to understand how this all came into being. So you may understand it later in life. Geometry, calculus, math, physics, whatever. At certain points, it's like, oh, my brain is big enough now that I understand that. Same thing with math, same thing with art and music. Different people at different phases in their life aren't ready for that experience. So who's saying, there is a point to this, who's saying that you're not ready now and that you're not good enough now? You just might have had the wrong teacher or the wrong experience at that time, okay? We have 2 cards in the near future, possibly 2 different doors opening up for you because of the topic. One is the King of Swords, one is the Page of Wands. Okay, so the King of Swords is inviting you to step forward and walk the walk and talk the talk. We have a very wise figure on this card, also sharing your learnings, teaching, creating a curriculum. It's interesting. They're all kind of following as I'm saying stuff, and that's just showing a good connection today. So you may be put in a position where you're not aware, or you may not even understand why people want to be taught by you. But guess what? You have some great experiences and knowledge. So there might be public speaking or teaching or mentorship opportunities that arise for you. Also, the written word is coming through loud and clear. So write it down. Not everything's creative writing, technical writing, scientific notation. And so it could be putting formulas down. It could be technically describing how to do an activity. It could be creative. Could be curriculum based. But anyway, we've got that. Then we have a learning card here with the Page of Wands. This can be teacher and student. The Page of Wands is also you, like as the chef in your energy kitchen. You've got, okay, I got one thing that's almost cooked. So this is your main meal. But now you're working on the dessert or a side dish here with the Page of Wands. You have another project, another idea, and you're working on it in tandem. Some of you are working a minimum of 2 jobs, or you have something that you're like, when I'm finished with this, when I'm finished with school, when I have this, this is going to be my launch pad. So don't give up on that. Just make sure that you're giving yourself enough time and space to multitask. So I definitely get multi-hyphenate employed people where you're working a couple of different jobs. And even if you have a business, you might have multiple lines of revenue, different ways that you're earning. So manage them both. One is more important, the King of Swords, but that Page of Wands is your meal ticket in a year or 2 from now. So don't give up on that, okay? There we go. The biggest challenge is your emotions. The Moon card can represent heightened and fixated emotions. So like feeling head over heels in love. We call it like lovesick, right? Or like it's like Moonstruck, that whole movie. Snap out of it. So sometimes we feel so much, so fast, so deeply. Grief, love, fear, joy to the max. and to the moon and back. So the moon is reminding you to ground yourself just a little bit when it's reversed. It also is fear, mostly fear, like I'm afraid I can't do this. Well, like we talked about, there are ways to work through this. Lean on the support of somebody if you need it as well. The moon is also connected to gut instinct. I'll pull the traditional card, even though these are gorgeous. Sometimes it helps to compare and contrast. So the traditional moon card has a wolf and a dog, representing the intersection between what we know and what we're taught. Because the dog is domesticated and it goes by training, and the wolf or the coyote is instinctual rather. And so there's the road between the two. Life exists between what we were taught to do and what we know we need to do, and it bends and curves because sometimes we lean more towards instinct and sometimes we do what we have to do. The little lobster in the traditional illustration is dealing with the stuff beneath the surface, making sure that that is all cleared and cleaned before you moved forward. Just like after a meal, he's going to clip out that carcass, and the next day he's going to create, or she's going to create, the web again. So cleaning up old business, finding your instincts and intuition and trusting them, and remembering that the path is never usually a straight path. It's usually winding in life. So just because someone else got there faster doesn't mean that they're going to enjoy it more, that you can't get there as well, that one is more or less deserving. It's just choices, karma, and a lot of things that you may not even be able or be privy to as well. One last thing with this is honesty. Be honest with yourself. It's in the position of self. If you don't want to do something, don't. If you do, do. Okay? Now looking at the environment. Again, I feel like we've been pummeled because I think this was, I can't remember what I did for the daily because I do so many cards, but I thought it might have been the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is reminding us in this moment in time to focus on stress release and stress relief. So I'm just double checking here. It looks like that was it. Yes, it was the Nine of Swords. So it's carrying over into this week as well. So in the environment, this can be a person, and I've known these in my life. I knew someone in college where every day was drama. The electricity wasn't working. The cat ran out. Her mom is in the hospital. She got food poisoning from the cafeteria. I'm like, how can anyone have this much bad luck? And I can't really listen to this every day. So yeah, I did. This was a long time ago. There was this, and I still to this day, I'm like, I don't want to talk to that person or connect with them on social media because I know that something tragic's happening right here and right now. So there may be someone around you that is a stress magnet. Please separate yourself. You can't fix them. They like it. Some people feed off stress. So if you know that stress magnet, bless them. They're actually probably having some fun being the center. It's the center of attention. It's like, oh my God, you won't believe. Actually, I would. Okay, this is also us making a mountain out of a molehill. Or I really liked, let's see if I still have it here. Yes, okay, because I just pulled it yesterday. So this was the one that was the daily. And so all of those eyes on her back. And in this card, all the people taunting her, pointing at her, laughing at her, judging her. Sometimes we worry and give way too much energy to people that have opinions on us. There's always going to be a naysayer. There's always going to be someone who thinks, I could have done it better. I deserve this more. Enough. Get ample rest. And if you need help, talk to someone. Because insomnia has multiple sort of root causes. Sometimes it is, like I said, it can be chemical, it can be environmental, it can also be just the fears and emotions. And so whatever it might be, or sleep apnea, whatever it might be, we really want to make sure that the quality and quantity of sleep is there. So usually by the time that card exists and persists for a while, you might need to talk to someone. But I mentioned in the daily that it's usually not as bad as it seems. You build it up, so you can also break it down if you choose to. Okay. Hopes, fears, opportunities. Five of Swords. Connected to the stress monger that we just talked about, this is someone in your life that isn't ready to listen. If you have a constructive comment, they won't listen. They're argumentative. It's someone who likes to pick a fight. It's someone who also kind of can gaslight or anything of that nature. So if there's a person who's not receptive to communication, unfriend them on social media, stop talking to them, block them in your phone if you need to. It's just not worth the energy. It's not worth the mental fatigue. No amount of work will make them happy. Focus instead on the people, the energies, the opportunities that give back. This is also inner saboteur energy. It's the little, like the cartoon with the angel and the devil. This is one of the consorts of the devil. 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, even the moon card. So anyway, the 5 of Swords works by saying things like, you're not good enough. Someone else deserves this. Any insult that you could throw at yourself, that's 5 of Swords. Anything that's really, when you get down on yourself, that's this energy. Rather than thinking to yourself, that was challenging, but I'm not going to repeat that. I might have had trouble before, but I'm going to prove to myself that I can do it. I believe in myself. Dismiss this person from the table, from your mind and your energy, because you can do it. You will do it. You are doing it. And you have to believe in that I am. I am valuable. I am capable. I am successful. I'm ready. Say that to this energy and just say, go talk to someone else. Go bother someone else. Because we can be our own worst critics sometimes. The cards are showing me that you really don't need to worry about yourself that much, especially with the King of Swords, Page of Wands, and 10 of Pentacles in near future and outcome. These are very good cards. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. Firmer foundations. It's interesting that we kind of see an instructive energy here between like the elder and the youth. That is always in the card. We usually also see the parents. It's all kind of like the death card. 10 of Pentacles shows all stages and phases of life. You're never too old or young to build something new, to create a new connection, a powerful connection with someone, and to get your full worth and value. And what a beautiful card to answer the 5 of Pentacles that came through earlier. So this is basically showing your full worth. You have to believe it. You have to see it. So this magician, she can see it before it happens. Negotiate if you're getting a job. Negotiate also in a new relationship. Like, make sure that you're on even footing. You can get what you want, and sometimes you just have to say yes. There was one job once where I had taken a very brief job that was maybe 3 or 4 months that was a step down. Actually, it was a little bit longer than that. Maybe it was like 3/4 of a year. But anyway, for 5 years prior, I had one rate. I had a small blip where I had a lower one, and the job that I was negotiating at wanted me to take the lower rate. I'm like, no, that was a short-term job. I'm worth the previous rate. And they were like, we can't give you exactly that. And we sat at the table for like an hour. They went back and forth or whatever. Eventually, she just said, what's your number? What's your final number? I gave her a number. She said, well, we can give you that, but you'll need a higher title. I said, perfect. She said, really? I said, yes. I was already doing that at the other place. Yes, I'm sure. I'm worth it. That's all they needed to hear. And then when I went back to my boss later, he's like, oh, I heard it got a little, but whatever happened, he said, I'm happy. He said, that's out of my hands. I'm glad you're here. You're worth the title. Welcome aboard. Like, they didn't care. I just had to push a little bit, and I knew it because I had it at the other place. They wanted to take me down by like 15% of my salary. And I was like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So I negotiated something more reasonable. So nowadays, I don't think they can ask, not in every, like this is more of a US thing, but not every state allows you to ask for salaries. I don't think they can fully ask for your age either. So make sure that you ask and say, before I give all this information, I want to check and make sure that you're allowed to know that. Because that shouldn't be, this should be enough. My work experience should be enough. I know different countries and provinces have different rules, but even then, fight for what matters. Just because one job came in the middle and you're less, this is saying you're worth more. It's the average of your work, not that one experience. That's a flaw in HR anyway. 10 of Pentacles can represent marriage, signing on a final dotted line on something that matters, or building something that matters to you. It's also just your full worth, and that's why I went in that long-winded story, because sometimes you just have to say, I'm worth this, and yeah, give me more, that's fine. Give me more responsibility, because I'm not going to take less than this. I'd already proven myself. I'd been there like a month working as a contractor, temp to perm, and they knew that they needed me. And I knew that they knew that they needed me. So I was like, come on now. We both know that you're getting a deal. When I then transferred to another division, my boss said, you're underpaid. We actually had to. I was like, I know. I recovered that lost amount that extra 5 to 10%. Like I was able to get it back and then some. He said, I have to bring you up to the base of everyone else because you're making too little. And that told me that I should have fought for even more at the table. So it eventually came back, which is good. That person that I work for was terrible. And I realized that if people want to pay, or groups want to pay you too little, it's not going to be a great experience. Years later, and God bless millennials, zennials, Gen Alpha, all the new people, because I don't think they care as much, which is so healthy. Jobs come and go. I don't get Christmas cards from my bosses, so thanking me for sacrificing time and energy. Put it all in its time and place and realize that there's more things in life. This can also be your family, your friends, and the people that you care about, okay? Having been through the school of hard knocks, having had issues with blood pressure, by the way, it's in a perfect place right now. But you start to learn things aren't worth it. I'm not going to sweat it. I'll figure it out or I won't. I want to live. I don't want this to take my lifeblood. All right. I'm off the soapbox. Let's look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. I'm going to do the full thing because there were some complaints last week. So sometimes I go a little lighter if we have a bigger topic. I'm going to just go lighter on the bonus if we need it, which I think we will. Okay, we'll start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. For mind, body, and spirit, we have the gate. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, you can make something new happen. I've started doing this. Again, I was highlighting with my health. I'm exercising more. I'm eating far better, meditating more, and putting work in a better category. That's why we're going to change next month the monthlies. I'm going to make them more digestible for you and more manageable for me. And I think we're going to all win in the process because things will come out faster. So I'm creating something new. The gate. You can do the same. If you don't like what's going on, something doesn't look right, then you step into the energy of creation and say, I need to fix this. I'm going to take the bull by the horns in that one image that I had where she was kind of doing that and really make the necessary changes, okay? Every end is a beginning. What was that song, Closing Time? Something about it's another beginning's end or something like that. So yes, you got to close the door on something, or if a door gets slammed in your face, there's another door that's swinging wide open. Create your own gate. Create your own portal. Change up your habits. Change up your routines, okay? Yes, something didn't work out. Yes, that's frustrating. But yes, something better awaits. Health. Don't get caught up in other people's spider webs. It reminds me of the old No Doubt song, Spider Webs. So that's this also. This can be drama and trauma from the Five of Swords because the spider can be manipulative. The spider can be tricky. So we don't want to get wrapped into the web of deception or gaslighting that is the Five of Swords. It's a health and a relationship message, okay? Other things. Okay, I mentioned before, I don't remember if we had the Pentacles card before, but with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, just like the Nine of Cups, it can be overdoing something, overworking, overeating, overstressing. We're over being over. So less is more. Meditate. Focus on mind, body, and spirit. It's not just medicine. It's not just exercise. It's also meditation. It's also what you're putting in your body. It's the full picture. And that's something that often lacks in modern medicine. So I always do the blended approach. If I have to take medicine, I'll do it, but I try to get off of it through my own habits and my own choices. So, try to find your way. I'm not a doctor, but a combination of the two is usually healthy. Eight of Swords keeps coming up, and it might be time for some of you either to get a second opinion because you don't feel seen, heard, or you're not understanding the doctor, or it's time for an ophthalmologist or an audiologist rather, because the blindfolds cover the eyes and ears. So a lot of times you need to get checked out. Oh, the moon card in sort of self can represent under hydration, drinking the wrong things or not drinking enough of something. It can also represent reproductive challenges or maybe even a UTI. So if there's anything going on with your bladder, your reproductive organs, or the level of hydration in your body, obviously you want to remedy that as soon as possible. Stress management rather is one of the biggest challenges for many of you right now, and stressful people as well. So finding a way to navigate through all of that is going to be really, really important. And then ultimately here, I quite like the Ten of Pentacles because it's showing me that if you get involved in organizations, activities, sports, groups that can kind of like create a sense of like extended family or chosen family, that can be great. One of the things that I love about the current place that I'm at is there's a bunch of people that have pets, and we hang out from time to time. And I think that's so cool because it's good for the dogs, it's good for us. We usually walk together sometimes, and I think that you can find like impromptu things. It doesn't have to be joining a club. It can be hanging out with a neighbor or a friend, or a coworker. When I had my traditional job, there were certain coworkers that liked to walk to lunch. So we would go and walk to a place, grab a bite to eat, and walk back. So we got exercise, food, and connection. So however you can find it, your partner, a coworker, a neighbor, your dog, I don't care. Find that, lean into that. Let's look at wealth. The birds. Aw, we like this. It's Three of Cups energy. In one of the decks that I love, I think it's Kim Krantz's deck, The Wild Unknown, the Three of Cups is three little birds in a tree. But we're looking at wealth, so there's a few things to talk about with the birds. We like the birds, but the birds can talk too much sometimes. So the positive side, this is a great time for networking. So say yes to invitations, say yes to professional organizations. And if you're looking for work, talk to the people that you know because they can help you find what you're looking for. Birds chirp a lot. Birds make noises. Sometimes it's about making sure that you're cognizant of your neighbor, your work neighbor. It's also making sure that what you're saying is not gossip, because it has a way of getting back to the person that you're talking about. So just be mindful of what you say, who you're saying it to, and if it's appropriate. But ultimately, have some fun, connect with others, and what a cute, I love this illustration. All right. Now let's dig a little deeper into wealth. If you're currently employed, let's see what the T is here. All right, for many of you, I'm picking up on work stress because we see the Nine of Swords here. Also the caution of these three together. Morale could be low. Someone could be gossiping with you. Don't gossip back, or just move on in conversation, or say, I've got something, I'd love to talk, but I have something else to do. Because this could create a challenge for you if you are seen as complaining, if someone hears you and assumes that that's your opinion too, okay? So be mindful of that. I feel like for many of you, you don't know what the next step is. Either your boss isn't clear, your creative path isn't clear, or your sort of career path. It's sort of like, where do I stand next? What do you want from me? So ask for clarity if you need it. Like I said, there's a side hustle for many of you. Make sure that it doesn't get in the way of the main job. Your voice it matters right now. Speak up, especially when we're looking at Eight of Swords, Five of Swords, and the Moon. Whether it's saying no or making the necessary changes so the morale issues fall away, whatever you need to do. On the bright side, you're doing great work. You're seen as someone who has good ideas, good ability to communicate and lead. Don't let any of this other stuff get in the way of that, okay? Entrepreneurs. Either you're focused too much on what people will think, or you're not thinking about what the next stage is going to be. It's either too much focus or lack of focus between the Eight and Nine of Swords. So take a step back and meet yourself somewhere in the middle. Remember to think about the long term, not just this month, this week, this year. I feel like you're going to get out of this challenging situation because we do have the Ten of Pentacles in the outcome. But what's necessary is possibly steering, like it is innovation. So this is research and development, putting a little bit in R&D, communicating transparently and clearly and often with your customers and your clients and your employees. Dealing with morale issues and complaints in real time, not hoping that they'll go away because they won't go away. But your ability to create and navigate this is still strong. but you have to tune in and not ignore some of this. What I love right now about everybody, by the way, this is for both those that are employed and the entrepreneurs, you've built up some good, well-being, and just people trust you. It's hard to get that sort of, because of the way that you work with others. So keep being a good partner, and goodwill is the word that I was looking for. You've built up goodwill, and that is because of hard work. So continue to build on that. Job seekers. For job seekers, it's a little bit difficult. I'll always be honest with you on this, because the Nine of Swords shows me the stress that goes into the job seeking. The Moon card also just the emotional tumults that you go through as you go through the process. And this is the place and places that you are applying to. Five of Swords. They advertise a job, but it doesn't really exist. They advertise a job, but it was internally staffed. They advertise a job, but AI immediately rejects you because you did something wrong in the application. And it's just like, by the way, those rejections are blessings. It's a pain in the butt, but you don't want to work for a place that outsources its HR to a robot, or that is mesy with its job postings, or is messy with its interview process. That kind of goes back into what I was talking about, where they try to get you cheap, or they don't care enough to actually have a human find human resources. So I know it's tough, but that's sometimes a blessing. I do see you landing on your feet here eventually with the Ten of Pentacles, but in order to find that, you may have to do what I did and do a really hard negotiation, or there may be a pivot job that you take in the meantime. A part-time, temp to perm, or a lateral move. It's not what you're worth. Sometimes you have to take it. I did it. And then I had to fight to not let that get in the way. We have to pay the bills from time to time. But I'm seeing friction in the application process. Lean into the little birds. Go into the network if you can, and if you know someone. One thing that is annoying, though, is the old school of knowledge where, if you just go in person. No, companies really don't accept in-person applications anymore. But a lot of times they do take a referral. So if you know someone in the company that can say, go check the apps, the digital apps. You need to look at this person. I worked with them. They're amazing. That still exists. And referral programs are still out there. So people are the key now. You can't just push your way into... 25 years ago in one of the jobs that I applied to, it was very brazen of me. I just stepped in. There were employees. I just went in the elevator, and then I went up to the main floor, and I said, can I talk to HR? And I gave them, you can't do that. Security would kick you out. They would say you need to go online. But you sometimes have to think of ways to get through the walls, literal or figurative. But now it's really through connection. So if you know someone, great. If you don't, it's a good time to build the network out so that you can get to know someone, okay? But I definitely empathize with job seekers because it's a hard world right now. All right, students, actually pretty good. I'm loving all of these cards. The only thing that's coming through is this. I mentioned that certain teachers, they're not all even. So like you might need a teacher that connects with you in a different way. So it doesn't look like you have to do anything radical here. You might transfer from one teacher to another, or one dean or one advisor to another, so that somebody can hear you and see you in the way that you need to be heard and seen, or connect with you in a way that kind of like lights you up. Or you need a tutor. And that's what this is here. So either get a tutor or find a different teacher. There's something here where the clarity is lacking. Avoid some of the drama at school. Some of you might be dealing with bullying, or there might be it's not a very welcoming environment. If there's a way that you can learn remotely or go to a different campus, or maybe if this is existing, it's more of a transfer issue. If it's just a teacher situation, it's either a tutor or a different teacher. But I don't love the environment here. There's something stressful going on in the environment. So with this, talk to a mentor and an advisor. See if that can be remedied. You don't need to do it yourself. Don't put yourself in the middle of all that. You will land on your feet no matter what you do, but that needs to be sorted out first. Okay, retirees. The world in general seems to be stressing some of you out. And it could just be that you saved for a reality that no longer exists. money is not worth what it used to be worth. Things cost more than they used to cost. We don't know when that's going to change, and there's stress associated with that. But the economy changes, and that's the one thing that's going to be guaranteed. Stock markets rise and crash. Recessions come and go. So it's about the long, like writing it out for the long term rather than this moment. We can't let that get in the way of thinking about the future. Do plan for the future, however. I do have the Ten of Pentacles here. I think you'll be all right. There could also be people around you that are stressed and putting their hands out and asking for more. Protect yourself, protect your future. Really kind of lean into like Six of Pentacles energy, even though it's not here, and be wise about how much, how often you give. Seems like you might be focusing a little bit more on relationships right now, either your partner or new people that you're meeting in your life. And possibly even like with the Magician, an artistic endeavor, spiritual endeavor, loving that for you. It can help you meet new people. And that's everything. Yes, we did employed. Yes, good. We're through it. All right. Let's move on to the next category, which is love. Grow your wishes. All right. So with this, we have to keep believing. Don't stop believing, like Journey, right? If you're looking for love, but you've thought to yourself, it's never going to happen, you're closing the doors, and we have to get back into the sliding doors energy. Open yourself up to say, I'm finally ready. I think it's going to be easy. I'm going to meet the person. I'm working on myself. I've done the work. It's just a matter of time. Like, think in that way and wish for something that you're truly ready and sort of like passionate about in the relationship. I want someone who has this, and this quality. Okay? In existing relationships, the same sort of energy. Make a plan together. Wow, I wish we could do this. Why don't we take a class together? Why don't we take a trip together? Why don't we do this? Express your wishes. And if you're single and happy, same thing. All right, let's go ahead and break it down. I just wanted to break that one down before I got started. Partnered, first and foremost. I feel like many of you are a little stuck because the spider is also a sticky totem. And if I look at what you're stuck in, for some of you, it's the stress of work, school, and life. But what I like about the spread in front of me, we do have the Two of Cups here. We do have the Four of Wands. This is someone that you can lean on, trust, but you're missing each other. One or both of you are wondering, like, where do I stand? Somebody's got to take the lead and initiate a date night or talk to, like, don't make it a conversation. Make it more fun. Make a plan together. It feels like that's a good start. And then open up. Be a little more vulnerable in that together. I do feel like for many of you, children could be in the equation, and that's causing some of the chaos. And I saw students, when I was looking at students earlier, there could be something stressful at school, whether they're, in primary or, K through 12 or college. There's still a lot going on, okay? I like that it ends on the Ten of Pentacles. That literally is a card of marriage. Love, Two of Cups, marriage, Four of Wands, marriage, Ten of Pentacles. Whatever this is, you can sort it out. What's necessary is together time, and not overly therapeutic together time. Like, let's just hang out and talk, that kind of together time. Okay? Getting unstuck in the patterns as well. Single and looking, can you find someone? Yes, however. I feel like it's a little... There's some challenges in the environment. I wouldn't look for it in school, work, or things of that nature. It feels like this person needs to come from an external POV. We already have the Two of Cups here. You're ready, but you may be wanting it a little too much or too fast. Whatever's in the past here probably should stay in the past, the earth sign. There could be a potential water sign coming in right now, but I think the best thing that you could focus on is just really building yourself up and feeling good about things. We do have, right here we have fire and air. It could also be a fire sign with a child. An air sign with a child. So if that's something you're ready and looking for, that's okay. And if not, kind of think about that. That is, I'm seeing that there might be a +1 with them. Okay. All right. So can you find someone? Yes, but it feels like there's a little bit of self-healing to be done, a little bit of cleaning up to do in the environment. You have choices, but the discernment needs to come through too, and be really clear on what it is you're trying to bring through and bring forth. You may land very quickly in a long-term relationship, so that's why you want all of your stuff fixed first. Okay. If you're single and happy, good for you. This is a period of time to really focus on stuff that you're passionate about. You can really take it to the distance here. You could, if you wanted to launch a business or do something personal development oriented, we see just a lot of movement here with commerce, development, and attention coming towards you. So I like that. There's still some internal stress that you want to be focusing on, so please do take care of yourself. Okay. That is everything for that portion. Now we're going to take a look at destiny. This card was reversed. It reads, your current situation is initiating. For a minute, I was like, is it irritating? No, it's initiating your gifts. It could be an irritation that's coming through. And it's like, why am I going through this? It's so that you get uncomfortable and leave. If you are not meant to be somewhere and you stay beyond when you're supposed to be, the universe will eject you in a tower moment. But if you're paying attention to things and you're leaning into something, it can also embrace you. We want to go more towards the embraces than the extractions or sort of like pushing out of that energy. So whatever you're in right now, pay attention to it. This is either moving you towards or embracing you in, and that is how you will know. If you're feeling the warm arms of embrace, this is where you should be. If you're feeling irritation, stress, frustration, and rejection, the universe is saying, over there instead, not over here. Okay? One last look at the entire spread and just kind of focusing on the sliding doors of it all. So one of the new things that's coming forth for you is a surprise. Eight of Swords. You're not meant to know and see everything. There are meant to be some surprises in front of you. What could be really nice to release in your life is inner saboteur or people in your life that just aren't ready to listen or take accountability, stress in general or stressful situations. And I feel like when you let go of those, there's like a couple of things that come in. You may find yourself at a crossroads where you have to decide between the two cups. That's why it's reversed. It's like, I don't know. It's like you have too many options in front of you, which is a good problem to have. So ultimately what I see opening for you is stronger relationships and firmer foundations. There has to be a little bit of release first, but so be it. Okay. Now we're going to go to a bonus portion because we just made that. So thank you guys. So let's see what you voted for. I don't have to ask. I don't have to decide. That's nice for me. Let me just give this a quick refresh. Okay. We are going to level up your life. That won by 39%. So thank you for all that voted. Thank you for all that decided to, give back today. All right. So in chat, while I'm doing this, let me know what you would like to focus on leveling up. I'm going to shuffle the cards a little bit and just see kind of like where we're at, what we need to focus on in general without even the initial offering from you guys. Okay, so show me the main focus right now. What are people not leveled on? Let's put it that way. What's the opportunity to level? Okay, so this card is usually connected with imagination. And so it's ideation, imagination, inspiration. And what I like about this particular illustration is he's taking inspiration from what's around him. He's taking those storm clouds and making something productive of them, finding his inspiration, finding his spark. So if you're feeling blocked, uninspired, or unsure, it's a good time to basically expose yourself to different ways of thinking and doing things. So podcasts, books, conversations, TED Talks, whatever. finding ways to get out of your head a little bit. Because the reverse card that was kind of stuck to the other card here is contemplation, but we can think ourselves into the maze or the labyrinth here. And you're thinking too much. It's almost the same scene. Look at this. So this person is stuck in a maze of their own thoughts, looking at the clouds in the skies. It's like the Joni Mitchell song about cloud illusions, both sides now, right? This is the other side. He's like, oh, a coming storm. I can tap into that. I can tap into the change. I'm going to take the lightning and, harness it. So even in stormy weather, even in difficult times, you can either feel like it's bigger than life and you are waiting for the storm to pass, or you can be an agent of change and you can use your ideas and inspirations to what? Map it out. The biggest opportunity is to sit down and think to yourself, what, not just what now and what next, but what's after that? What's a year from now? What's 2 years from now going to look like? Let's map out the possibilities. And it does not have to be a map that constrains you. This is like a map that actually helps you accomplish something. I want to be here. Now that I know that I want to be here, I'll figure out the path. I don't actually have the full map. I just have the destinations. It's like a constellation, and I'll trace out what the in-between is going to look like. So we do this for little kids, but we never do it for adults. So for a little kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be an astronaut. Okay, well, you're going to have to learn math. You're going to have to learn physics. You're going to have to learn astronomy. Like, okay, now we know all the things that you're going to have to figure out. And there you go. We can do this as an adult. I want to be here by this point. Whether you want to move somewhere or meet someone or do something, when you know the destination, the universe can open up the map of possibilities for you as well. So dream a little bit and then map it out. And then talk to someone else and say, how did you do that? How could I do it? What am I going to do? Okay? You don't have to have it all figured out today. All right. I'm just going to check chat here and see how some of you are dealing with stuff. All right, so thank you for some of the ideas here. Oh, we have good ideas. Okay, we have joy, home, work, life. Okay, hold on a second. So let's see here. We're going to start off first with work, because I feel like everybody may want to level up work a little bit. Work, school, accomplishments. So let's see what you can do to level that up. I am so over the Nine of Swords. So over it. All right, so what I love is I'm doing a past, present, future for work. The Ace of Pentacles is spirit conveying worth. Like you have something, a seed, an idea, an iota, a little possibility that you've been sitting on. This is one thing that could be holding you back. And it could be the present job in total. And you have to ask yourself, because you're caught between this, which is what you truly want, and this, which is paying the bills, and this, which is representing the strain between the two. I saw having to juggle a little bit. You don't have to make it either or. You can have something that starts as a side hustle or side job that becomes the main job. It takes time and strategy to make that happen, but it can. You can also have a dream that is going to be far more lucrative because you're more invested in it. And it's really around investment. When I think about the jobs that I languished at a bit, it was probably because I wasn't invested enough, because I didn't care or I didn't feel cared for. And it cuts both ways. Employers rather need to remember that. When you see an employee that is disillusioned and quote unquote checked out, it's probably because you haven't given them what they needed or been there in the way that they needed it. So what we're seeing here is an understanding that sometimes, you just have to kind of like wake them up and wake yourself up here too. But is it worth the stress? That's really what I'm seeing with this. It may not be, and that's okay. It's okay to step aside for a second and say, I need something more. I need something better. The Two of Pentacles is a choice that needs to be made in your life, a choice that you need to make that's kind of healthy for you. All right, I'm going to put Apollo on for a second because my cameras are acting up for some reason. And then I'm going to finish this. So give me a second. He's giving us a little Zen moment here. All right, let me see if that did the trick. Nope, one more time. I got to do the other camera. Hold on. We're out of retrograde, but there's still some stuff going on here. There's just a delay at my end, so it's hard for me to see when there's a delay. Nope. There we go. Okay. Good times. I want to look a little deeper on this one. And so for the Two of Pentacles, how can you make things balance out? Six of Cups. You don't have to do this alone. So with the Six of Cups in reverse, any change that needs to happen can be one that you do with the help of others. So if there's something that's not working out in your life, power in numbers, especially at work. You also might need more activities outside of work, so work-life balance. Now, what I'm going to do here is a little different, just because I was seeing things that could be blocking you. What is it that's blocking you from your employer leveling you up? Because I think that's probably what you were asking. So why are you not being seen, heard, or appreciated? Okay, well, with the Six of Swords, multiple things. For some of you, God, the camera's doing it again. It's okay. I'm just going to hold it up here. For some of you, the employer or I'm going to leave the camera down so that I can do this. There's a little bit of a delay on my main camera. Six of Swords can represent someone in your life that is checked out. So your boss themselves may be kind of checked out. Sadly, that's the case sometimes. This can also represent someone who is traveling too much or isn't focused at all at what's going on. So you have to kind of bring them front and center, make an appointment with them, talk about things, map them out, but it may also be time to move on. If you can't move up, sometimes you have to move on, and that's what this card is reminding us. So if needed, go ahead and take care of yourself, and sometimes we just have to do that. It's sad to say. Or transfer. But yeah, with the Six of Swords, there's this energy of them not being fully present. What else is going on? Let's imagine that you're working very hard. Is there any way you can be seen or heard? The Chariot in reverse. So what they're wanting or asking is for you to take the initiative. So set up the appointment. Say to them, in this moment in time, it's really, really important that this is what I want. It's the map card that we talked about a moment ago. Map out what it is that you're trying to accomplish and say, this is my goal, this is my dream, how can we work on this together? And provided that they, connect with you on that, that's great. But otherwise, folks, we have two cards that are showing moving on. The Six of Swords is literally like, it's a form of transportation. The Chariot, same thing. So you are either at a glass ceiling or you need to or you're taking the initiatives. And if that doesn't happen, then it's simply time to move in a new direction. Because for whatever reason, they may just not be ready, willing, or able to connect with you. So that's what I'm seeing here is a nudge to map it out, put it in writing, absolutely put it in writing. And if they're still a little wonky about it, then there comes a point where you're like, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. Sorry, you had to see my face there. I'm going to try this one more time, but I think I can't keep switching between the views, so I may not worry about this. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, it switches cameras too much. We're not going to worry. We're having some technical issues today, but it's okay. All right, so let's see what else is going on. I think one of you said you wanted to figure out how to level up your emotional. This is great. Emotional intelligence and self-confidence. Let's take a look at that one. I'm just going to pull the cards up, even though I normally show it because the camera switching is causing issues. Okay, so, and I want the main camera to be okay. Actually, it's still doing it, so we're not going to worry about it today. All right, I'll fix it when we're off the air today. How can we level up self-confidence? So it's so interesting because practice makes perfect here. But the Page of Swords is like speaking, writing, and practicing that a little bit more. So speaking up more. It's not easy. It's like the first time you do anything, you're going to feel a little bit shy, a little bit uncertain because it just may not feel like you've got it perfect. Don't take yourself so seriously. This is a learning experience. This is a student with all the math that we talked about earlier, just figuring things out one step at a time, right? And then the Queen of Wands is coming through as a reminder for us to never stop dreaming or imagining what's possible, because I really do feel like for many of you, the best is yet to come. The World card is exposure. So there are, like I mentioned when I was in school, one of the best things that I did was take a class on public speaking. And so having that extra practice really, really helped me out. And exposure, practice, belief in yourself, and not worrying how it sounds or how it looks. Just kind of like having some fun. It's like at a dance. If you don't dance, you look stranger than the people that dance. And you don't have to dance wildly or too slowly. Just put yourself out there in the mix. Through the practice of that sort of energy, you're just going to eventually get better at what you can do and what you are doing, right? So I feel like practice makes perfect. You could also, for some of you, decide to, for self-confidence, it could be going back to school a little bit. Mentorship can help with this. And also just getting in a different environment. I know that one of the best things that happened, not just in my youth, but in my adult experience, was moves. Like when my parents moved me to the East Coast and I had better teachers, that was amazing. When I went to school in Boston, that was amazing. When I came to California, every time I made a really big move, like my life leveled up by leaps and bounds. So sometimes the world is about exposing yourself to a different part of the world, because you'll meet new people and you'll be received differently, and it is a reset. What follows this is the Fool. We reset the process, but it's a zero card. So when you're able to zero it out and explore something new, sometimes a change of environment can really, really help. But learning, practicing, and exploring, that's actually what we've got in these 3 cards here, okay? Let's see what else is coming through here. You know, we never look at relationships, so I'm going to look at relationships because they are a part of the picture, even if they're not viewed that often. Okay, what for existing relationships can you do to level them up? Sometimes you need a little distance. We have the 8 of Cups coming through in the reverse position, and the 8 of Cups often appears when we can't see something for what it is because there's just too much. Too much of anything is not a good thing. So you may need to step back and create spaces and pockets in your life where you have your own thing. And then you come back together and you share those different experiences. Not everything has to be done together. One thing that you could do together, though, this can represent vacation or holiday or trip energy. So you could plan an excursion together. And that could be good. But otherwise, space is good, distance is good, different things is good, and then you combine and you share. Because it just creates healthy energy in the relationship. If you share everything 100% of the time, sometimes you get annoyed. So creating little spaces, it can be a hike, it can be the gym, it could be yoga, it can be a walk. You need your time and space. I get that. And is there anything in friendships, like non-romantic relationships, that you can do to level up, to be inclusive here? Don't push. So the 10 of Wands in the upright position, even in the upright, she's burdened a little bit. In the reverse, though, it's extra pushy. So with friends, you can invite them. If they don't say yes, don't worry. Keep the door open, check in, but it's reciprocity. So if someone's tuning out or pulling back a little bit, they probably just need a little space. Common theme through both. If you're carrying the weight of the friendship, share the load a little bit. Don't be the one that plans all the time. Don't be the one that hosts a party all the time. You could just say, you know what, I'd love if you could just plan this or if you could host this. And they'll be like, I don't know if I can. I don't care. Anything you do will be fine by me. Or give them a list. Say, here's 5 places any of these work. I just can't go through it this time because I'm tired. So delegate if you need to in friendships too. Okay. Someone mentioned more joy, I think, and I like that. How can we find areas that create more joy and happiness? So where is joy lacking is really the question. And how can you bring the joy in? So many reversals today. All right, so where the joy is lacking for many of you is work, school, or activities. They've become burdensome. They've become more just a means to an end. How can we find more joy? Creating work-life balance. Literally, that's what we have here. So many 6 of Cups. We've seen so many interpretations of it today. 6 of Cups and 9 of Swords seem to be the thematic ones that just show up again and again. So children, friends, neighbors, family, people that you love. What's the thing with birds? There's so many birds coming through today. Is that a little parakeet? Looks like it. So also what we get with this is not just the inner child, but the inner voice. Sometimes that inner child was told to be quiet. And what you find out as an adult is you need to speak up. Some of you may go into singing, speaking, using your voice, like getting the bird out of the cage so it can sing and it can fly. So the way to more joy is using your voice, connecting with other people, helping them find their voices. This can just be like BFF energy. It can also be deep soul connection with someone that you love. Relationships should be the focus, even though we don't get to focus on it on this channel that often. It is coming through as the elixir to this. King of Pentacles is putting too much focus on that pentacle. Work, accomplishment, what people think of you, etc., etc. All that matters, hone down how much your sort of circle of friends looks like. Really spend the time with the people that matter the most. Less is more, right? All right, now we're going to do a couple spirit-led ones, and then we'll get into the gratitude portion. Sorry about the weird technical stuff. Hopefully, if there's any delay, it's just in the little window, so I'll fix it later. Things happen. We roll with the punches. It's live. That's why it's fun. It's not going to be polished and perfect when you tune into a live stream. Okay, so despite whatever people have asked, what do they need to know? One card, one oracle. What should you know? What do you need to know? And then I'll ask what you need to focus on. So what do you need to know? I'm so sick of these cards. This particular, not this deck. I love this deck. But 8 of Swords and 9 of Swords need to take an 8 of Cups vacation away from me today. All right, why did this come through? Okay. So, is it the chicken or the egg? Who knows? Who knows what? Well, I guess in biology, the egg would come first because everything began as a cell, right? So the answer to that is it's always the egg. But the chicken took years and years to evolve into what we know. So the 8 of Swords, this is one of the best 8 of Swords. And even though there might be a little delay, I'm just going to bring it up here. So in this one, we see her illusion of what she thinks is happening versus what we, the objective spectator, can see. Things are better than you imagine. Something is getting ready to hatch. So is the focus on this? Like, I can't see it, it's not happening, oh my God. Or is it on, maybe I'm going to tune out of all of this and just look within. Maybe I'm going to imagine that things could be better. Because Spirit sees that it's better than you. You're not what you see, the flaws that you see, I don't see and Spirit doesn't see. Eggs. Eggs require fertilization and attention and warmth to grow. They need someone to incubate. Something is about to happen, but you have to keep incubating. You have to keep putting the time and energy into this cosmic egg for it to actually happen, right? Also, this is kind of like, eggs remind me of like the butterflies, metamorphosis. There's different stages and phases, and they have to break through or break out. In this card, there's a fear of breaking out. She needs to break out of the shackles or there's just little strings in this particular illustration, but there's that first step of breaking through, and it's like birth. When you come through the birth canal, the babies cry because it's like, where am I now? This is different. So you're in the rebirthing energy right now, and it will be a little scary, but stop looking at the stuff that's scaring you and start focusing on what could be coming through, okay? You're stronger than you think. There's better things ahead. Who knows what tomorrow will hold? Let's lean into the energy of possibility. All right, what should you focus on? Because I said, what should you know, but I didn't ask, what should you focus on? What should you focus on? Very good energy. I'm just going to keep doing these oracles here. Ooh, fantastic energy. Okay, so 10 of Pentacles. This is friends, family, foundations in your life. Also, this idea that I'm building something. In this one, we actually don't see the archway behind them. Maybe it's inferred by the lights, but I'm also imagining that these people could be building something that doesn't exist or rebuilding something that's fallen apart. Firefly is a mating sort of energy here. The reason they light up is to attract something. So they are a magnet. They are also representative of love, friendship, or something amazing coming through. And the two of these together, you're calling in either an opportunity or a person that really is invested. It's good. So keep focusing on building up yourself, building things that matter in your life, and keep turning on your light. We need it in a time when there's not as much light as there used to be. Let's turn on your light so that things can get better, and focus on that. All right. And normally I do the final card later, but let's do the final card now. So because I'm here and I'm in the flow, and now the camera fixed itself. That's so weird. Okay, anyway, we love it when things work out. Go ahead and ask your one big question, and I'm going to pull one card and see what's going on. We're going to do a bonus one here since you guys helped unlock this. So your final question with a clarification. Ooh, fantastic. Okay. This is really, really good. For yes or no questions, Seven of Wands actually is decently auspicious. The Seven of Wands represents a moment in time where you're on the heels of success. You have more than enough. But in this moment in time, you have to be more discerning than ever. So saying no becomes not just a luxury, but a necessity. I love this version of it. Okay, yeah, something's glitching with my camera. I'm just gonna, we'll leave it down for a second, and I might need to change the camera cord again. I think the cord is loose, and that's the problem. So for the Seven of Wands, she's keeping her cool, calm, collected energy, and that is going to really benefit her in the long run. And what we see here is dragon energy coming through. The capacity to really make something amazing happen in your life. We're looking at the dragon's eye in particular. The dragon sees the potential in front of it. It's not afraid to move forward and seek out that potential. So in this moment in time, as I fix my top camera, it's important for you to believe in yourself, for you to reach for what matters the most, and because dragons are ready and willing to fight for what matters as well, okay? This card was reversed, so it's also encouraging you not to take on more than you can manage or that feels right to you as well, okay? But for yes or no, it's a yes, but find your inner dragon, okay? Given all the glitches, we're going to wrap up. I think it's either my USB hub or the cord, and I will fix that later because that's how life goes. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up today. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor. Please like and subscribe. It helps more than you know. I appreciate it. You can also sign up for my newsletter if you would like to. It's on my website, nicholasashbaugh.com/newsletter. All of these links can be found on my website as well. From my website, you can also book a private reading if you'd like to. I do have availability. Check the website for times, dates, etc. If you would also like to give back through PayPal, you can do that also on the website. And you can find all of my official social media links there. It's usually my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. With all of that being said, thank you to everybody today who gave back with super stickers and super chat and by becoming members. Just like public radio, it's important to show support, and that's actually a way to do it because YouTube pays creators less and less every month, and that's just the way it goes. So I lean on the support of all of you a little bit more than I used to, and please do help us out if you can. All of your favorite creators can use a little bit of help, so thank you for that. Okay, with that being said, I would like to express some gratitude for everybody for showing up today. So thank you for being amazing. We're going to take a couple of moments here to go through everybody that contributed today. And then just a reminder that I do this each and every Sunday, pretty much the same time every week. So let's go ahead, let me refresh this and take a look at those who contributed today. Okay, so going to fan funding. And apologies for any sort of electronic stuff. It happens. Okay. Thank you to the following people who contributed and helped us meet our target today. Sam Murphy, thanks for being not only a member but contributing a sticker. Casey and Bloom, thank you for your sticker. Sinister Days, thank you for the sticker and membership. KL2-U20, thank you for your sticker. I appreciate it. Let me make sure I heart all of these as we go along. Okay. Also, thank you to Paula B. Thank you very much for being a member and for your sticker. Colette, thank you for being a member and for your sticker. Thank you also to Yogi Rising for a very generous sticker. Mama Can, thank you for your sticker. Colette, thanks again for being number one in chat, also being a member and for giving a sticker. Holly, and I can't read the rest, but Holly, thank you so much for your sticker. QZ422, thanks for your sticker and for your membership. Thank you to Amitabha for being a longtime member. I appreciate you and I see you. Thank you for your sticker. Thanks for the kind words as well. Colette, thanks again. I appreciate the multiple stickers and the membership. Deborah, thank you very much for your sticker and membership. Sam Murphy, again for the sticker and membership. K&X, good to see you as always. Thank you for the sticker and membership. Popcorn, thanks for your sticker and membership and the kind words from everybody that put up all of that. I appreciate it. Colette, thank you for your sticker and for contributing so much today. S. Colin, 1962, thank you for your sticker. Thanks for being the first. Actually, it's your first live stream that you put a super on, so thank you. The Blue Butterfly, thank you for your sticker and membership. S. Colin, thanks for the sticker. Popcorn, again, thank you for multiple contributions today. Kayla Rogers, thank you very much for your sticker and for your first contribution in a live stream. Lots of firsts today. I appreciate that. Jeannie with a bunch of X's around you, thank you so much for being a long-time member and for today's sticker. Georgia, thanks for your membership and sticker. Colette, thanks again. Shelly, thank you for the sticker and membership. Colette, thank you again. You're a rock star. I appreciate it. The multiple contributions help. Georgia, thank you for the sticker and membership. Let's see here. Shelly Williams, thank you so much for your sticker and membership. RD4504, thanks for your contribution. I appreciate it. Blue Butterfly, thank you for being a member and for contributing multiple contributions today from Colette. Thank you so much. I've lost count. It's been at least half a dozen or more. Thank you. Georgia, thank you again for your contribution and sticker. Colette, thank you again. Blue Butterfly, thank you again. Colette, thank you again. Let's see. MP Lehman, I think it is. Thank you so much for your sticker. Mel 305 Miami, thank you for your sticker. And by the way, MPS Lehman, thank you for being a member too. Colette, thanks again. Sam Murphy, thank you again. Multiple contributions. I see you and I appreciate you. Is it MALAN? MALANATES IAKAY. Thank you. I can't say the name because it's a lot. Thanks for the little black cat. I appreciate it. It's again here, Milan. We'll say it's Milan at the beginning. Thank you again for multiple stickers and apologies. Put your name phonetically out there so I can remember it next time and I'll try. Colette, thank you so much. Georgia, thank you so much. Yolanda, thank you. Again, thanks to the members that have multiply given me stickers today. I appreciate it. Here's a new one here. Stine Maria, I think it is. Thank you very much for your generous contribution and for being a member. Lorna, thank you for 53 months. Get out of town. Thanks for you for being here for so long. I appreciate it. Let's see. Zilly, I think it's Zilly, plus some more. Thank you for your sticker. Sin3971, thank you for your sticker. And finally, Marta546, thank you for your sticker as well. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks to Dakota for your assistance. Good to have you back. I appreciate your help. And everybody, have a fantastic final week of this month. We are getting out of the retrograde energy, starting some new chapters, new cycles in our lives. And one last card that was kind of stuck here is the Four of Swords, which is saying it's time to take a break. It's time to rest. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves today. I'll see you again, same time, same place next week. From my heart to yours, wishing you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.